Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Gamers! It's the patch for Season 3. Now, the patch isn't as good as we'd hope. There are some really good changes, but there are some universal changes that we'll have to get used to, and some top tiers were not nerfed enough. Like, Billy, time will tell, because he has a long list of changes, and some of the recovery changes are a little more significant than others. But like, unless the rev axle changes dictate it, expect to still see the same amount of Mr. Bigs and expect to see the same amount of Mr. Karates. So here we go. So there is one more non-balanced change I want to mention. Alongside the addition of Rick Stroud's OSD, Exceed the Limit, really good. This patch finally adds the fucking OST that Mr. Karate had in his trailer. So this is a remix of Art of Fighting 230 Million, Fatal Fury Special, when Rio was a secret boss in Fatal Fury Special. They remixed it for Robert's trailer, but they didn't fucking drop it for some reason. So rank resets, buy DLCs individually, $5. Tutorial, yeah, we saw this in the previous video. So for all the information not listed, I'll also have a frame data sheet. It's done now. I posted them on Twitter, but I'll have to clarify here because I got the wrong fucking target combo for Joe, and so I changed it. I thought it was ACCD, I was confused, but it turns out it's his far heavy cake target combo. It should be correct now. So, Wild Punish. The first hit does 10% more damage, but the rest of the combo does less damage. So, I got a Kenshiro combo, Wild Punish, procs heavy kick, feint cancel, run up, procs heavy kick, feint cancel, into far heavy punch. 90 damage on the first hit. It's increased to 99, but the rest of the combo does less damage. 78 to 73, 83 to 79. Probably like a 5% reduction across the cast if you get a Wild Punish. Some characters have really good Whiff Punish, especially Mr. Karate. If you guess wrong, you just get fucked. The rebalancing and toning down some of the damage. Rev Axle scaling changed. Alongside the minimum bonus being smaller, the lowest rev spending is 0.7. Now it's 0.8 on Axle. Not only that, on a 1.0 combo, which is pre-patch Axle, post-patch Final, and if you don't have SPG bonus at all, it went from 25-15 on the first two, which is the exact same. It went from 10% on subsequent follow-up hits to 12.5%. So if you do like Kenshiro combo, EX 2-hitter, EX kicks, EX finger snap, EX DP, EX air fist, it went from 25-15, 10-10-10, and so like subsequent use of SPG will be 10, and to like 12.5. So the entire combo goes from 70% spending to 77.5. So two hate combos, or characters that need very little SPG to do stuff, are unchanged, but the longer combos, like the Mr. Big, Kenshiro, Mr. Krot, these are getting nerfed through damage. Well, it's not a damage nerf strictly, but rather it's like you'll be forced to stop the combo at an earlier point if you don't want to get burnt out so easily. Which is either you get burnt out earlier by accident, or if you stop yourself short to not get burnt out, it is a damage nerf indirectly. You also see this with the 0.8 multiplier. It goes from 19 to 12 to 888, which used to be pre-patch middle, to 19, 12, 10, 10, 10. Two more universal changes that are not listed in the universal section, but rather in the character specific sections. Crouch buttons now have a magic number 5. All characters have a 4-frame proximity light, a T-Zoc buff, and I believe all DP breaks are 23 frames or slower, buff to Kim Dong-hwan, and nerf to Rock Howard, Preacha, and Vox Reaper. So, Rock Howard And also, yeah, online matches you can no longer talk. Rock Howard, his run speed is slower. Air Fireball has increased recovery. Personally, I have no idea how to check landing recovery frames, because the frame meter doesn't make a difference between recovery while you're airborne and then recovery while you're landing on the ground. They don't make the difference between the two, they just say recovery. There is one air move that I've checked, because there's a consistent way to get the exact same number, but the other air moves I did not check because it's all reliant on timing. But yeah, fireballs across the board are getting nerfed. Not across the board, just certain ones. They have more recovery to make it easier to punish it. This benefits like characters without a fireball. However, Andy, his fireball got nerfed, which is really, really bad. His doesn't really count as a fireball, it's more like a poke. The nerf not only makes the poke worse, but also eliminates a very niche corner combo, which is bad. Rising Tackle, DP Break, 23 frames. Hard Edge Light, increased recovery on hit. Went from 21 to 30, Jesus Christ. I think they want you to chase after people using like the command run, which is, I suppose, is really good at jump scaring people. However, you cannot like auto turn around with the ref button like you can with run. Terry Bogard, bigger hitbox and hurtbox on standing light kick, easier to whiff punish because the hurtbox lingers longer. Far heavy kick, more hit stun, more block stun, more recovery. The frame data on hit and block is the same, but it saw a 3 frame increase in recovery. And then lane leap heavy, a bunch of lane leap heavies have decreased travel. Visionet, no frame data changes. Proximity light kick has better proximity recognition window. Crouching light punch, bigger hitbox. Crouching light kick, less pushback on hit, so it's easier to combo. And then EX to Hind does more damage, from 30 to 45. Marco, proximity heavy kick, increased hit stun. They buffed the fuck out of this move. It went from being +1 on hit, and then with feint it's +6, to +4, and then feint is +9. Bonkers change. Fireball, increased recovery, 35 to 38. Genshi Pokaku, increased recovery. Pre-patch, the knockdown was +88, knockdown of 65. So 23 less recovery. Heavy Tatsu, on break it went from 29 to 30, 1 more frame, but normal version it went from 18 frames to 21 recovery, alongside a hurtbox expansion. Preacha, prox heavy punch does more damage, 25. Prox heavy kick does less damage, 10. Far heavy punch does less damage, 5. Increased recovery, bigger hurtbox, easier to whiff punish. Recovery from 17 frames to 19. Far heavy kick, bigger hurtbox, easier to whiff punish. Crouching A, frame 5, universal change. DP, increase recovery and whiff when breaking, 23 frames. Before we get to the backdash options, changed EX Rekka is 15 frames instead of 14, 1 frame increase. A very niche combo just got killed, but otherwise the majority of ways you use this move going to be the exact same. Command backdash into overhead, reduced hit stun and block stun. Went from +4 to +2. Block stun -2 to -5. This is crouch jab punishable. EX overhead, increased hit stun, so it's more comboable, but reduced block stun just the same. So it's +4 to +5. Probably a compensatory change. You were probably able to like combo EX overhead to crouch jab. With the increase in crouch jab startup, the increase in plus frames is probably to keep that exact combo. That said, the increase could benefit you elsewhere. Like if you land this move with a frame data bonus, you could unlock a brand new combo probably. Backdash into low, more block stun, from frame 4 to frame 2, frame 2 to 0. Backdash low is no longer punishable. Hotaru, outside of universal changes, she got nothing. Crouch jab frame 5. Vox Reaper, far heavy kick, less recovery, easier to whiff punish, and less block stun. If we view, it's frame 5, so which is the exact same as the fucking reduction, so like where is the reduced block stun exactly? And DP break is the same. T-Sock. Bug fixes related to combo button. Proximity jab frame 4 universal change. Less recovery is compensatory. So it's the same like on hit and on block value. Smaller attack hitbox. Poseidon Wave, 21 frame on the active frame portion. So Poseidon Wave has two parts. You either hit people with the bicep or you hit people with the punch. The punch happens earlier. I assume that's what's happening. Less recovery is the same. And bigger attack hitbox. And then EX Poseidon Wave, increased block stun and less pushback. If you use it point blank, like the worst frame data to get on this move, it went from -5 to -3. Kevin Ryan, back throw has less recovery. You went from +20 to +28. So I have 8 more frames to start applying pressure. Proximity heavy punch, bigger proximity range. Crouch light kick can now chain. You can now normal chain with this move. And then lane leap nerf for the double lane mode. Billy Kane, 2 moves. These are the 2 command normals. Forward A and forward B, like the jump kick and the pogo kick, can no longer follow up after midair hit. So if you use this move, so if you're juggling someone, mid combo you use this move, the opponent cannot be comboed anymore. So if you do like special Bo Tako Tobigiri into another special, it works prior patch. Taka Tobigiri is now a combo ender. It's either you do special into Tako Tobigiri or you do special into special. Far light punch, increased recovery, bigger hurt blocks, easier to whiff punish, increased hit stun and block stun. Block stun value is compensatory. Hit stun went from -4 to +2. Recovery increased it by 1 frame. Didn't get nerfed a whole lot. In fact, I'd argue it's more buff minus the whiff punish change. That's far light punch. Far light kick, it's more recovery, 4 frames more. Far heavy punch, more recovery, bigger hurt box, easier to whiff punish, 2 more frames. Crouch light kick, increased startup, no longer 5 frame but 6 frame, probably to make it in line with the 5 frame crouch magic number. They don't want this move to be the fastest normal. Increased recovery, more pushback on hidden block, 9 frame to 11 frame. The smart crouch combo button has more recovery, frame 9 to frame 21. Setsukon Shudan Uchi, or just Chudanuchi. Grounded forward staff, bigger hitbox, easier to whiff punish on all strengths. Forward follow-up, bigger hitbox. Back follow-up, bigger hitbox. Air staff, or like diagonal up staff. The light version has worse launch, added a hurt box to the staff, and Billy's non-staff hurt box is bigger. Heavy, added a hurt box to the staff, bigger hit box. Upward staff follow-up, worse combo. EX bigger hit box. Pogo flip heavy, decreased launch height on hit on the first hit. Rekka, bigger push box on the second and third hit. Scoop super, 20 less damage. Mashiranui, proximity light punch, the cancel window for specials and above, so specials, supers, but not chains, can happen earlier. So chaining light punch into light kick happens the exact same way, but chaining light punch into special or super happens earlier. Proximity light kick, reduced buffer window, less pushback on block, better for pressure. Far light punch, bigger hitbox, hurt box, easier to whiff punish, increased hit stun. +1 to +2. Crouch light punch 5 more damage, crouch light kick 5 less damage, less recovery, less hit stun block stun, less pushback, can chain into normals earlier. Less recovery 1 frame, plus on hit 0 to -1, on block -2 to -3. Kachosen, increased recovery, bigger hitbox, so easier to whiff punish the fireball. 31 to 35. Ryuan Bu, more block stun. They changed the attack startup to 21 to 18, but then they increased the block stun. It's the same for light Ryuan Bu. Heavy Ryuan Bu, bigger hitbox on the base of the attack, so the hitbox closer to Mai is bigger. EX Ryuan Bu, 2 frames slower, added a hurtbox to the base of the tail, Reduce active frame. The active frames went to 5 frames to 3 frames. The on block went from -3 to -1. Sayo Chidori Light changed attack startup. 1 frame faster. Bigger hitbox, easier to whiff punish. Less hit stun and less pushback on hit. So Sayo Chidori went from +6 to +2. Heavy Chidori, more hit stun, bigger hitbox and easier to whiff punish. +6 to +7. EX Sayo Chidori, bigger hitbox, easier to whiff punish. Hana Arashi, increased launch height on hit for DP. Kim Dong-kwon, reduced recovery on whiff when breaking. This is a universal change, but he got buffed because he was 24 instead of 18 like the other characters. It's 23. Ashibinta kicks, redistributed the damage, less recovery, 24 frames to 22. Ashibinta does 10 more damage and redistributed that damage. Less recovery, less block stun, increased launch height on hit. It went from 24 frames to 19, and went from -10 raw, -2 break, to -8 raw, -2 break. Gato, light Rekka 2, increased recovery, bigger hitbox, easier to whiff punish. 21 to 24 frames. Having the X version, bigger hitbox. DP, light, has less landing recovery and more knockback on hit. The opponent is further away and it's more difficult to chase after them. Knockdown +57, neutral low-key, 35 short back row low-key, to 52 neutral low-key, 30 short back row low-key. EX, bigger hitbox on the final hit. Kine, forward throw and back throw have less recovery. Both went from knockdown 62 to knockdown 66. Jump light kick, increased hit stun. Again, another jump button, but the frame meter allows you to check not only your state but the opponent's state too. They increased it by 1 frame. And last but not least, L Rondo Summon, light Rondo Summon, has less recovery when you initially create the fireball, 31 to 29. Go to jail, less recovery on hit for the punch super, which is the invincible super shoulder tackle kick. Level 2 is not changed at all. Level 1 has 4 more Oki frames. Salvatore, crouch heavy punch, has a bigger hitbox. Jump light kick, changed outcome on mid-air counter hit to mid-air flip to knockback. So that means you can actually convert from this move on counter hit. Nice. And Earth's Beat heavy, increased block stun for the base of the attack. If you're very close to the opponent, heavy Earth's Beat is now +2 on block instead of -2. Rakutomaru, crouching light punch, universal change. Air Shuriken Feint can no longer be cancelled in normals. You could set up like you could like stop your momentum in the air, because regardless of how you jump, you always fall down after air fainting. You could and then set up like unreactable like high-low left-right mix from the jump, depending on how you jump, depending on how you move around. So now you cannot like high-low left-right mix that exact way anymore. Karakusawari EX has more hit stun. Oh, I forgot to check that. +3 to +5. Now for the DLCs. Andy Bogard. Hishoken, increased recovery. That's really bad. 31 to 34. Really bad I did this. Air Hishoken also. But then he has Shingini Shiranui, which is Demon Flip Grab. I found that like if you input Demon Flip and then mash the fuck out of throw, you can get the 53 number every time, and then 52 on EX. For reference, the entire animation is 53, not the recovery. The 53 number became a 57, and the 52 became a 56. So it has 4 more recovery frames. Andy is probably the most nerfed character this patch. That's not an explicit top tier like Billy. Like, Billy is maybe, we'll see. Ken Masters, Hell Wheel has increased knockdown duration and decreased recovery. Oki went from +34 to +55. Massive fucking change. Stand Light Punch, increased hit stun, frame 4 to 5. EX Tatsu, bigger hitbox, no change to the guard cancel version. So if you do not guard cancel, it has a bigger hitbox. More forward travel if you do not guard cancel it either on the first hit. Heavy Tatsu, increased launch height on hit, reduced knockback on hit. EX Tatsu, damage redistribution, increased recovery by 1 frame, but it ground bounces now, which is really fucking good. New combo route unlocked. Air Tatsu, if you cross up, it does 20 more damage. Johigashi. Okay. ACCD, the second C has a bigger hitbox. Command combo, Fardy Fardy. Frame data changes, reduced recovery, reduced block stun on the second hit. Block stun is the same, recovery is 24 frames. Bigger hitbox, it's easier to whiff punish. And third hit, bigger hitbox. Far heavy kick, bigger hitbox and hitbox. Slash kick heavy, that one pissed me off. I checked all of the frame data possible, it's the same. They said reduced recovery on hit and block, it's wrong. It's more advantageous on hit and block. So the recovery is the exact same on all fronts. But on hit, it has a 5 frame increase, and on block it's a 5 frame increase. Please improve the wording on patch notes. Bakuretsu can finish, is 2 frames faster. EX, that's 10 more damage. Golden kick, heavy golden kick, if you cross up, has more block stun, and it's 2 frames faster start up. It went from -3 to -1. Screw elbow, charged version now activates earlier. Raw completely unchanged, same for level 2. And the rest of it are buffs to his stance. Tiger Claw, EX low is now -3 instead of -1, so Tiger Claw, 20 more damage, more block stun. Tiger Wrath, more block stun on both meterless and EX, and then meterless does 10 more damage. Meterless from -6 to -5, EX does -6 to -3. And then Tiger Tempest mid, 20 more damage, so 60-80 meterless, 70-90 EX. Increased hit stun, and then on EX, increased hit stun and block stun. Added a guard point until attack startup, and then the mid kick now reflect projectiles on startup. So meterless hit stun 0 to +2. If you counter hit or wild punish with this, it will be more advantageous. Hit stun 0 to +2 as well. Block stun -5 to -3. A lot of your EX options are now all safe on block if you EX. Chun-Li, increase hit stun on all the affected moves and increase block stun on Hazanshu heavy. So Yokusen kick, forward heavy kick, went from +3 to +4 on hit. Heavy Hazanshu, 1 frame increase on hit stun, but block stun went from -2 to +1. And then EX Hazanshu, +1 to +2. Mr. Big, second hit has more scaling, so if you start a combo or you do a combo with a far C, the rest of the combo does less damage. So he got damage nerfed if he uses that particular starter, alongside damage nerfs on wild punish and meter stuff being more expensive. Far heavy punch has more recovery and is easier to whiff punish, 20 to 23 frames. EX cross diving does 10 less damage. EX California Romance, the uppercut, has its damage redistributed. Jesus fucking Christ, Jehu. 4- goes further. Proximity light punch cancels into specials and super earlier. Increased recovery, increased hit stun, block stun. Hit stun, block stun is a compensatory change, so it's the same as pre-patch. Recovery 7 frame to 8 frame. Far B, +2 to +1, can now cancel into special moves and above. Far heavy kick, less pushback on hit 1, and less pushback on hit and block on hit 2. Crouch light punch, increase recovery, increase hit stun, block stun, 8 frame to 10 frame. Hit stun is even better, +1 to +2. Block stun, compensatory change. Hangetsu-zan, light, 1 frame faster, less recovery, 29 to 27. Heavy Hangetsu-zan, reduced recovery, reduced block stun. Recovery saw a fat fucking decrease, 29 to 23. So much so that half of it has to be docked on the block stun side to be -10 instead of -7 from -13. EX Hoten Kyaku, increased hit stun and block stun, reduced pushback on hit. It went from +1 and +1 to +2 and +2. Ryusei Kyaku, bigger hitbox. Shakashu, charged version now activates earlier. Charged version does 10 more damage. Hyenzan Light DP, 20 more damage, increased knockback, decreased launch height. So it's harder to combo from this move, but it does 20 more damage. Hoyokyaku, reduced recovery on hit. The Oki after this move, small increase on level 1, big increase on level 2. Knockdown 41 to knockdown 46 on level 1. Knockdown 10 to knockdown 24 on level 2. Geese Howard, reduced recovery and knockback when the throw connects. It went from plus 50 to plus 55, and the decreased knockback combined with the knockdown should let you pursuit a Oki better. Ha, which is light punch, heavy punch, increased hit stun, reduced pushback distance on hit. So if you get a counter hit, it's better. +1 to +3. Proximity light kick, increased recognition. Crouch light kick, smaller hurtbox. Fudoken heavy punch, increased block stun for the charge version. -3 to +2, really big increase. Lane leap nerf, whatever. Raging Storm and Deadly Rave, level 2 classic inputs get a 10 damage increase. Because it's level 2, a high key does not matter. Wolfgang Krauser, lane lead chain, who cares? Mr. Karate fakes the bug where stands into Dragon Roar EX. The scaling doesn't carry over when you do the second hit. That's stance into heavy kick. Taunt. You can no longer overheat off taunt, and the taunt animation is longer from frame 65 to 70. Delayed rev meter fill timing and reduced rev meter fill amount. During the taunt animation, your opponent's rev meter goes up at a later point in the taunt. The amount that they gain from the taunting is smaller. Proximity heavy kick, increased block stun, less pushback on block. -2 +1 with feint to -1 +2 on feint. 1 frame increase. Far heavy kick, increased scaling. Far heavy kick is a popular combo ender in certain juggles, especially the target combo far heavy kick, far heavy kick, far heavy kick again, into forward far heavy kick. Crouch heavy punch, move active frame portion of the attacking box forward. EX Fireball, increased block stun, 2 frame increase, so -10 normal to 0 after using the karate dash, to -8 into +2 on karate dash. So EX Fireball is now plus on block. Stance. All versions of stance have the following changes. Reduced stance duration from 140 to 70. Like, these are the active frames. Increased recovery when stance ends automatically. Delay the cancel timing when following up with Shorankyaku. The command grab from stance is delayed. Command grab has less forward travel. Dragon return has increased recovery. Dragon roar, the forward kick, forward heavy kick, first hit does 20 less damage. If you look at the frame data, the stance automatically ending has 2 more frames of recovery, and manually returning has 8 more frames of recovery. And then finally, Blue Mary and Kenshiro, they got 0 changes. The nerfs to Fireball on Rock, Marco, Mai, and Andy, as well as a variety of frame data nerfs to Billy, is gonna make those matchups a lot better. But like against Mr. Karate and Mr. Big, they're still gonna struggle. And that's it for the balance patch. Thank you guys for watching. If you like it, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a nice day.